we had sun earlier. Guess I'm going to do this in the dark. But yeah, good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to acknowledge our kupuna. Yeah, our kupuna for being here and sharing their time with us. So mahalo to you folks, because if it wasn't for you folks, I wouldn't be here. Yeah, and to the keiki for bringing their youthful energy to the space, and then everyone else in between, both present and those online and those that are going to see this later on. So mahalo to everybody. To the Civic Beat, Ohana, for allowing us to tell our stories from our perspective. That's really important. Because growing up here in Hawaii, we're so used to having somebody else tell our story. So it's an honor to sit here and talk story with you folks face to face. Yeah. Beautiful Lono evening tonight, Lono moon. It's a really interesting energy that I like to observe, and so I'm just gonna let it flow. I don't like to go off of script or anything like that. I just kind of move with my na'au. So that said, my name is John P. Maiva'ahina, also known as Prime. Moved here in 1985 from town, Malolo Valley, and then I really got to know what it's like to live as a Hawaiian person here on the Westside. Raised my first 3 kids here, and I gotta say, what makes the place is the people. Yeah, this place is really special to me, and prior to moving here, whatever we saw on the news was our way of, looking at the Westside. Yeah, and it was hardly ever positive. But when you live on the Westside, it's different, because then you feel this strong sense of community. Like, you guys can go to the store, no need brush hair, brush teeth, and nobody gonna say anything. Try that in town. They call the cops. Yeah. Or they consider you something else. But that's what I love about the Westside. It is what it is. You are who you are. That's your business. Yeah, and it taught me a lot of values. And as I started raising my kids and learning as an individual, as a lifelong learner, I realized that, the art that I was doing before to destroy property and to just make a name for myself and be this infamous tagger, I realized that, no, we can turn it into something positive. And when I started to present this idea of using street art as a form of education, it got shut down immediately. But over time, yeah, they started to see the writing on the wall. They started to see the pictures, the stories, and they started to ask questions, right? And my base for this storytelling session is focused around Maui, because I didn't learn this story until 2017. I mean, I was here since 1985. That's a long time to just exist in a place and not know anything about its history, because there was no place to go to learn these things. Yeah, you just had the same old routine. Shoots, I meet you at the beach, bring the beer. Yeah, bring the pupus, stop by Temuras. Okay, but now that we're into the art and now that we're working with the community, our work has become so valuable. Yeah, so during the pandemic, we created these coloring pages, which is this paper that I'm holding in my hand. And it's a free resource for our teachers and our stay-at-home parents to download something about us that's written by us. That's really important. And this story of Maui, it's a specific story from Nanakuli that I learned. Yeah, because there's so many different Maui stories. So I don't want to say this is the only story of Maui, but this is the one that I learned. And so this has become my truth, and I'm going to stick with it. So this Maui that we're talking about is Maui Akalana, yeah, whose mother is Hina Akalana. Born and raised over here in Nanakuli. Yeah. And I already know that he captured the sun and all of that stuff. But no, it was much more than that. Out here to my right, the waters there
Maui wanted to do, he had some ambitious dreams. Right? He wanted to become, or wanted to do things, not just for his mother, his family, but for his community and for himself. He wanted to capture the sun, slow it down. Yeah, wanted to slow it down so that way his mother can dry her kapa. He had a fight with a fish and lost the magical lure. And from there, he started to hone his craft, but he realized that he couldn't do any of these things unless he went to his grandmother. Yeah, so his tutu wahine, a blind woman who lived in Milu, which is located just on my right side here in the ocean. He goes to seek her advice because he wants to do these things, but he doesn't know how. And Tutu tells him, first of all, if you want to do these things, like this fish that you're trying to catch, it's a magical fish. So in order to catch it, you need a magical hook. Anything that you use is not going to work. Okay? And also, I want to try and capture the sun. I want to slow it down. Okay? Well, same thing. Okay? It all has to do with magic. So he was thinking, and he was like, well, Tutu, what do I need to do? And she said, well, first of all, you got to go through your protocols. Yeah, so he goes through his protocols and asks for his gifts, and Tutu gives him his canoe, a magical canoe. Yeah, the second item that she gives him is her jawbone on the left side. Yeah, so in that story, it's very, very specific. Yeah, so contrary to popular belief of Maui's hook being this fish hook, in the Nanakuli version, it's his Tutu's jawbone. So he goes home, tells mom, hey ma, check this out. Tutu gave me this, Tutu gave me this. Awesome, yeah. She go, oh yeah, that's awesome. But what you gonna tie to him? He was like, oh, I don't know. In order for you to be successful pulling that hook, you need a strong rope. You need a magical rope. Okay, where can I get that? So she cuts her hair. She braids her hair along with Tutu's hair. Yeah. And after she braids his hair, she ties it to the hook. She said, now all you have to do is give it a name. Yeah, the name of his hook, Manaya Kalani. Yeah. When you break down Manaya Kalani, mana, meaning power, strength, ia, meaning of, Kalani, the heavens. Yeah. So this hook was born from the strength of the heavens. And from there, you guys know the rest of the story. He fights with the sun, wins, catches the ulua, does all of these great things, right? And for me to hear this story, especially our kids, this story is from here, and it's something that they can look forward to. But that's the importance of this coloring page for us. It's not just engaging in the coloring, but it's also engaging in listening. So like when we're doing our sessions, the kids are coloring while I'm telling the story. Yeah. And now they're working on the kinesthetic, they're working on the auditory, and they're working on the visual. The three sensory preferences that is very critical to our learning. Yeah, and it's all in here. So my favorite part of this story is that the value that we get from hearing our own stories that came from our own place is so much more than just an awesome cartoon. I love the cartoon, don't get me wrong, but when you hear it from your own place and you see the mountain, you know the names, then it all makes sense. It all starts coming together, right? So I was here for over 25 years and I never heard anything like this. But when I heard this story, it just hit me really, really differently. I'm like, the kids need to understand this story, right? They need to understand that they are Maui. Yeah, we're all Maui. We're all Hina. We're all everyone in the character. We're everyone. Yeah. Without this, without us telling our story, and that's the power of art, is we're able to tell our story, our own narrative. Yeah, and we're able to participate and ask questions about our history. Who are we? Yeah, and we are who we are because of who came before us. So in the story of Maui, without his mother and without his grandmother, Maui wouldn't be Maui. You know, so big ups to the women, right? Because if it weren't for the women, the men just drink beer on the beach. Nah, just kidding. Yeah, so that's the story that I have for you tonight. If you guys know me, I can talk forever, but I just wanted to keep this one short, just because what's more important is the value of the art, the artwork that we produce, and it's not about my own personal story to this place. It's about the kids and what they're going to learn, the value that they're going to get off of us coming together and sharing these stories, sharing our history, archiving that, and then putting it out there for the future generation to see and hear. Yeah, so that's my story. Mahalo.